Welcome back, folks, to the special of Support Together, Fill Ur Cuppa. Today we're in a different location. We are in our hub in Omagh. We are, what is the word? We are gathered together with a few of our lovely friends.
Yeah.
We have some of our mummies and we have some of our S2 super dads.
And some of our champions of Support Together.
Yes.
As well.
On my right, I've got Mrs. Una Leonard.
Hiya.
And on my left, I've got wee Jem Cassidy.
Hello.
And I am your host, Mrs. O.
Zones in the house.
How are you doing, ladies?
But nervous now. We have a heap of people staring.
I know. There's a while of eyeballs in this room.
We're just looking
I
at
know.
us, but we have
There's a lot of
eyeballs in the house.
It's all good. It's all good. It was something different.
Yeah.
We're doing a wee special. This is going to be, we're hoping this will go out around Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So what we better way to celebrate them with our own mummies and daddies.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do a disclaimer at the start here. My husband is in the room and we are happily married.
Yeah.
And we hope to be still happily married at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
And he's just putting his head down. Anyway, so tonight's topic, because it's evening time.
And this is another strange. We're seeing mummies that we normally don't see in the evening.
Yes.
It's like, whoa.
And there's no children.
No children.
And if you hear a wee siren going off, it's just some ambulance or policeman wants up through Town quickly.
It's not coming to get us.
Yeah, there's nobody coming to lift us yet.
That's right.
Because I don't know where we are. Our topic today is on identity. So when we have the mummies in here tonight, we were thinking about what for them was the big change entering hood. Mm-hmm. Who were you before you were a mummy? What was the difference whenever you became a mummy or a daddy? And what did you wish you had known? Now, we might have covered some of this here in the expectations versus reality, but it's totally different whenever we get the words from actual people. We do have a Roman mic, so we will be getting conversations and some words from our audience. And they are so excited. I can just see from here. They can't wait to get chatting.
Look a wee bit nervous. He's nervous as us.
Yeah. Wee bit.
It's a gathering.
Yeah. It's a gathering.
It's not being recorded.
I'm going to do things a bit different tonight. I was told off that I say because I always apparently start on my right, so I'm going to go to my left this time.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You didn't warn me, but this
I know I didn't warn you. Who were you, Gemma Cassidy, before you had little Podrick? And what changed whenever you entered into the hood?
Probably didn't know who it was before Podrick. I was going through a career change. And I was in a stopgap job and there's me banging chairs again. Can't help it. Yeah, I suppose I didn't really know who I was before Podrick. I took a stopgap job, as I say, before I had him. And then my IVF was coming up in around that time. And then I just had to stay where I was and kind of just ride out in time for maternity leave.
What was your expectations? What did you think it was going to be after you had him or whenever you entered the hood?
Oh, I thought it would be all singing, all dancing. Oh, I was very lucky. I had IVF project first time, but I suppose I thought this is going to be plain sailing. I love weigh-ins. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's going to be a walk in the park. Mm-hmm. But I was consumed with fear then whenever Podrick came.
There was no inkling. There was no. I know for me, there was never a thought that this could be a struggle.
No, and I had suffered with depression before, as I've talked about, but I didn't realise it at the time, highly anxious whenever during my pregnancy, but didn't know, and I was holding everything in and holding it in. I was bubbling and bubbling and bubbling, and then whenever Potter came, it just went, just exploded.
Yeah.
But looking back and now I've educated myself, it's no wonder I was feeling like that.
Yeah.
After what I'd been through. And the struggles, So, yeah.
Una Mary?
It's not long ago, folks. I'm 50 now and I kind of forget.
Early age.
Back then, Caitlin's turning 18 now. I'm with Michael. Are we only 30 years together, Mick? He keeps me right.
Like smiling his face
I'm
down
with
there.
him, yeah, a long time. So I suppose before we had Caitlin, we got married. We were with each other a good while before Michael decided to engage me. He didn't ask to marry me. He asked to engage me.
Must be a theme. Eamon did the same.
He was fucking terrified that I'd go out and plan this big wedding and spend a load of money.
What's
it was at the
engage you?
kitchen sink. What's
Wait.
engage you?
Get
Never heard
engaged.
Will you engage me?
Aye.
That's what
Never
it
tell of
was.
it.
Mm-hmm.
That must be a true thing, is it?
Yeah, that was the ring was on the finger then, and then we planned then to get married. Suppose like me and Michael did a lot of holidays together. You know, we had the freedom of the mind. You know, just being me and him. It was about me and him. And then planning to have Caitlin and I had my career, worked in childcare, ran day nurseries, worked in that time was Safeway creche. You know, cheekers like, and when even that thought of me being a mummy, like, there's going to be no bother doing it. Like, as I say to all these, I had the qualifications. Sure, I'm going to be shit hot at this. So I had no fear. The only fear was when I fell pregnant or trying to get pregnant. We then were going to go down the IVF journey because we didn't get pregnant as soon as we thought. You know, when you thought it's safe to go get full throttle at this now, and nothing happened. So, and then we did fall pregnant. And our beautiful daughter came along. But there's one thing I did not have. I had no fear of going to be a mummy. I was qualified. I done it and I loved my career. I was good at it. I worked in Sure Start then. I thrived in what I was doing. And then the anxiety. When Caitlin was born, it was nothing but worry. I worried about everything. And I had then that illness, that it.
Oh, she's behind us.
The bitch was in our relationship. So I know it was a massive change for Michael. The girl that he once knew or fell in love with, there was a change. Who is she? And trying then to look after this beautiful bundle. Like, we loved every inch of Caitlin, but it was just jakers, creakers. How do you do this? You know, I remember going back to work and I remember saying to him at work, none of his book can tell me it's going to be this hard. Why is it such a secret? Well, we didn't know what to say. You just talk about it. So that was who I was before it. I don't. Me and Mick had a lot of freedom. We would have done a lot of stuff together. But we always wanted to be parents. And there's a lot I don't remember because you're right in the middle of it. So it'll be interesting maybe to hear Michael's side of things. Because when you are full of illness, you know, it's a dark time and you don't remember a lot. But I thought, right, bring it on. I remember ringing to give us appointments for it to come in and see about the IVF. And I remember saying, you know what, I'm pregnant now. You know, I just felt like a champion, you know, I was just ready. Didn't feel any worry antenatally. I was just at the waddling duck syndrome. When I went into the hospital, what you told me to do, I did. Where do I go? Who am I? What am I? You know, but as far as that, no. Me and Michael would have had each other and we were ready. We were with each other long enough. He engaged me for a good while. Then we got married. And then we were going to welcome life into this world. So
I wonder how would Mick feel if I passed the microphone down and see what was his thoughts. I've written down here, Mick and fear. Did you have any fear?
Not initially. We were, as I said, quite free people. We come and went as we pleased. If we had the money to go on holiday, we choose to do that. And there's no preconceptions of what my role as a father or parent would be. And I wasn't anxious about it. I wasn't worried about it. And when the time came, I was so excited. We planned to have a family at the right time of our life where we'd done things we wanted to do. We had the freedom to do it. But this was the right time to have a family. And when the baby was born, the excitement was amazing. Like, it's just hard to put into words how you feel when you see your own flesh and blood there. It's the best feeling in the world. But then I think Caitlin was born on a Thursday, as far as I remember, and on the Saturday there was a wee change with Una, and I didn't know what the change was. I thought it was tiredness, and
When after giving birth, pushed that hard and then he pushed the whole inside out.
You're sort of left alone to bond with your child and pick up the pieces and stuff like that. And that's, again, without being told things, you just do what you think's right. And I didn't really pick up on Una being not herself. Like I say, I thought it was tiredness. And it wasn't even after Caitlin came home, even her christening and stuff like that. Looking back on it, the signs were there, but they weren't obvious to me.
Well, you didn't really know what you were looking at.
I hadn't a clue. Really, I think I probably heard of postnatal depression, but didn't know what it was. And couldn't have told you what the symptoms were. Couldn't have told you anybody that had it, because it was not really talked about. And then when as time went on with Una, I did see a change in her. Again, initially I was putting it down to tiredness because we had broken sleep. We're taking it night after night turns, to get up and feed Caitlin and stuff. And I was feeling tired. I was trying to go back to work, but then you think this is just a wee bit too long.
Aye.
And moods would be different. And but again, I was just totally in the dark about what was going on. And things really went bad in the coming weeks and months before we addressed it ourselves. I didn't do it. Again, it was possibly Una's mum or Una's sister maybe had the conversation with Una.
Yeah.
Noticed how protective I was of Caitlin when changing nappies. I've been watching everybody. Everybody was a predator. Nobody was doing anything right. I only could do it.
Your fear was actually making me afraid. It's not something that I probably would have been like. I'd have been comfortable enough. But the things about getting up in the middle of the night and going over and checking as the baby breathes and stuff like that, that became an instinct for me to do.
Thought, I wouldn't let Michael have the baby in the bed, go sleeping. That became a massive intrusive thought that I thought something was going to happen. That's where the arguments would have started, and I would have then, well, sure, here, I'll just do it. Sure, I'm the best to do it. And I didn't bother sleeping because what was the point sleeping? The baby needs me. So then straight away, I wasn't letting Michael be involved. Would that be?
That'd be right enough. And then when, your first baby, you don't know the rules. You don't know how to set things up. So
you're still finding your way.
You find your way, and what you do in the first few weeks, you tend to continue on doing, whether it be right or wrong. So that was probably the way we acted for several months. And then, like say, further down the line then was coming in from work and seeing Una in her worst state. I didn't understand it, and I couldn't understand why she was like that. And I thought, well, I need to work. We need the money. We're providing enough to get by here. And if I spent more time at home, I won't have the time to work and won't have the money to do what we needed to do. So I tried to balance it, but that wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And it was a cause of conflict early on. And I shouldn't be saying this, but what I was thinking back then was, how does anybody else cope? It's the worst thing you could say to anybody.
Yeah.
But when you're not in their shoes and you don't know what's wrong with them.
We didn't say it.
Yeah.
No, but
I can understand. And
100%.
You see families like them, maybe 5 or 6 or 7 kids in the house, and you say, well, they're just getting on with it. But this was my house.
See, that's just getting on with it.
And the comparing leads to despair.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. And we have to go back. That's 18 years ago, nearly. And nobody was talking about this illness openly. And when Brenda did confront me, she had a dinner to do it as a younger sister. What the hell's wrong with you? And I kind of had an indication something wasn't right. And I went to the doctor because I didn't want to feel like this. You wanted to enjoy the life with your baby, but I just lived in constant fear of something going to happen. And I'm not feeding her right. I'm not, no. I just was blame. And then I watched Michael. I'm feeling resentful because I felt as if his life was going on and mine wasn't. And I remember sitting in the bathroom or locking myself in the bathroom because, sure, there's where I feel, nobody's coming in near me here. I'll stay here a wee bit longer just to get the headspace. And wouldn't have went out of the house. But nobody ever said to me, you want to go out of the house? Because I didn't put forward, and like I said,
there's no communication. But then you
words,
didn't.
No, we knew nothing, folks.
You didn't know what.
It was hard for any man to speak about anxiety or depression with themselves. They wouldn't acknowledge maybe they had it.
Mm-hmm.
So they certainly weren't going to see the signs if it was their partner or their wife.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't talked about. 18 years on, it's talked about every day in our house. And even at work and stuff like that there, we have a very open conversations about our head, you know, how we're feeling.
Yeah, and and this is where Support Together started.
Yeah.
You know, that girl sitting in the back, you know, we've turned something that was a hard time. There was hard moments, but there was also wonderful moments. Mm-hmm. But because there was no awareness, and Mick has been immensely supportive. Mm-hmm. You know, I went without money. I quit my job. That was, when I look back, God, when I think about it, like, I don't know how he didn't lose his life. But he kept holding on. Support Together was another child in our home. We've seen the difference that it would make. I'm
looking at Mick and I'm thinking about the boy sitting beside him, which is Mr. O.
All right, Mick.
And I'm thinking, I suppose ours would be a wee bit different, whereas we did speak about postnatal depression and the fact that I had it. And Eamon was very aware that I had it, but I didn't allow nobody else to know I had it. It was very much the stigma of it was just me, him and the doctors. It's all that knew. Nobody else was allowed to know because of the shame that I thought that it was bringing on me and us as a family. And I don't know if you felt the same, Eamon, but it was the shame. But they would think that we weren't coping, that we weren't good enough. And that's why I didn't want nobody else to be told or nobody else to be.
No, it was no shame because it's just no shame. But I hadn't a clue what postnatal depression was. Hadn't never heard tell of it in my life. Didn't know what PND stood for. Didn't have not a clue. Mm-hmm. Not a notion until the Dr. Irvine says to you. Mm-hmm. And who was it? Her Bridge McLaughlin was sent you to, you know?
Bridge McLaughlin.
Bridge.
Yeah.
She says there's somebody can help you here.
Yeah.
I never knew nothing about it in my life. Never hear tell of it.
There was like a 15-minute talking and getting ready for a baby. But sure, it was skimmed over and you didn't have a clue. And then to go in.
And that's what keeps me going, why I keep doing what we're doing, because that's ridiculous.
Well, if we go through the Eamon 2, baby 2 was a complete and utter disaster, shit show. But we go to number 3, Orla. Mm-hmm. What was the difference there?
You had none at all, no postnatal depression at all.
Because me and you were educated.
and the difference was wild, like a different person.
In what way?
You were just all happier and smiling. What the smiles were now.
Easier to live with.
Hey?
Easier to live with.
Certainly.
Why do you think that was, Eamon? What was the difference when Orla came?
When Orla came, you could have talked to her. When the two boys, you couldn't have spoke. You'd have been devoured. Mm-hmm. You would, no matter what you said wasn't right, and no matter what you done was wrong, and you couldn't have looked at her sideways.
Illness really consumed her then, didn't it? It
just
took over. It was like another person in your life.
I remember Eamon saying to me, "What's wrong with you now? Because there's always something wrong with you." And that line alone would have, if I wasn't bad humour, would have put me in worse humour.
There'd have been no reasoning.
No.
You know, it wouldn't matter what you says, it just wouldn't have, there'd been no reasoning. Then my Orla was completely different. It was just...
But you were looking after yourself then?
Oh, I knew.
Do you feel that Ciara did a lot of work after baby 2 when she connected in with the charity?
Oh, she did.
I remember Ciara coming when I found out she was pregnant.
That was the making of her coming here.
She was scared.
I was so scared.
It saved her life coming here. That's what it done. That's the difference it made. The difference day and night. That's what it done. Like, and she done well. All thanks to yourselves, like, for...
Eamon always says that he remembers their turning point. And he remembers me going, I went to counselling the whole lot, but he remembers me coming down and going to Sean Quigley, who I met through Support Together, and doing the coaching with her, one-to-one coaching, and paying the big money. And he drove me to Derry I was
Might
off
have paid
work
for it
first
too,
time.
like.
Yeah. What do you say?
Might have paid for it too.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know if you did.
I'm only joking, I did not. Hardly paid for my own, never mind hers.
First time off work ever in my life, and taking the time off work because I had to take the time off work. Driving to Derry every week and doing the one-to-one coaching. And I was getting support with support as well, and going to the counselling, and that was whenever I had the real shift in the turn. Mm-hmm. But the amount of work that I had put into myself, and I know that the amount of work that was in Ciara, it was fucking hard. Now, and I still, this is before I was pregnant with Orla. Still, it was very much a secret in my house. My parents didn't know. My sister didn't know. Like, they all knew I was a crap bitch, but nobody knew why I was a crap bitch. Nobody ever asked me.
That's the difference.
What's wrong with you? Like, I love the fact that Brenda turned around to you and said, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Nobody ever said to me, "What the fuck's wrong with you, Ciara?" I remember taking Jude out and being in a room somewhere and him starting to cry, and I'd have to get up and leave because I couldn't settle him. And I know I could settle him myself, but everybody watching me, I felt they were all watching me, and they were all sitting thinking, she hasn't a fucking clue what she's doing that way, and look at her. So I just had to go back home, and that's where I stayed. Because whenever I was in the house in them four walls, nobody could see me. I was fine. The Wayne was settled, I was settled. And if Eamon dared come in and open his mouth, I would have at him. And he knew then not to open his mouth. That was the way we lived.
Yeah. And little do you know, when you go out, half the mummies that you're going out into, or meeting, are feeling around the same way. And the big thing that we're all afraid to talk about it.
That's what I love about our get-togethers.
And it shouldn't be.
When we go to our get-togethers, if there's a child throwing a tantrum, it's exact. Nobody cares. Yeah. If there's somebody wanting hugs, that's the way it is. My child, none of them children are mine, but they're all mine. Whenever we're at a get-together, every single one of them. Yeah, Auntie Ciara, Auntie Gemma. That's the way it is for them all.
I remember Eamon noticing you getting better, because Eamon used to say to me, "Jesus, I run them gatherings every night. She comes back in deadly form."
Actually, 3 or 4 buns for me, Homer.
That's what you were looking forward to.
I love that.
But no, you, as I'm saying, you did notice
big change.
The shift.
And
no doubt there was a fear in you when you found out you were pregnant, or Ciara was pregnant with Orla.
Okay, you always worry, because you want the best for your children and you want to do your best. And if you're not well yourself, you can't do your best, I suppose.
But the thing is, with Ciara, we would have talked a lot about, well, if it comes, you're equipped.
Yeah.
You're aware. You're more aware than you've ever been.
You're a step ahead.
Because now you know what PND is, or why the anxiety is there, why there's a reason behind the behaviour.
Why she's a cow bitch.
And it's okay to take the meds. It's not that this is not a lifetime thing, but it is a reason why we need to take it. So, there's the difference. And I did get emotional when Eamon said that, and you've shared that a lot.
Oh, I know 100%.
This is a life-saving organisation.
Well, I know you had said earlier on about you don't remember a lot about the start and the depths of it, and I don't either. And I think anything I do remember is the bad stuff that I was putting myself down for. I don't remember much of the good stuff, and there probably was good moments in it, and there was times when I was getting the cuddles and all the wee nice moments. Jude was the only one that I had a baby book for, and I've never once looked at his baby book. I can't look at it, and I read everything down in it. But that was my darkest days. I don't remember what's in that book. But I'm so grateful that I'm still here now, that I was able to go have the journey with Orla and be educated and be supported and know that actually it's not going to happen. Just because you've had it once or twice doesn't mean you're going to have it every single time.
No, that's right.
There is life after postnatal depression.
There is, exactly.
And you can go on and have, but the point is that we were educated and supported, and we had major communication between me and Eamon.
We did.
For baby 1 and baby 2, there was no communication. It was a one-way street. I was putting it out, and no matter what was coming back to me, I wasn't hearing it. But now it's a two-way. This is Fill Ur Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, and we couldn't bring the podcast to you today without the support of Clarity Scanning and Holistic Health. Clarity Scanning and Holistic Health is a private pregnancy, ultrasound and complementary therapy facility. Their mission is to provide a more holistic approach during your pregnancy. Visit clarityomagh.com.
I can remember, and I don't know if some of the ladies here can, on yourselves or you relate in this, I can remember looking at Mick, you know, when I was in the middle of the illness, and remember nearly, I had no words. I had no words to match what was wrong with me, so I couldn't speak. But I remember looking at him and thinking, for Christ's sake, do you not see I'm big and struggling? And it was nearly that this was that I only had the eye. I'm sorry, I'm putting my hands over my mouth here, I'm realising. that, you know what I mean, that somebody had sewed my mouth up, that I hadn't the communication. And I remember often looking at him and going,
do you not see it? Yeah.
And crying inside for help. You know, I don't know, am I though?
Is there any other mummies feeling that?
You know, that fucking hell, I feel like just going, Christ, would you see what's wrong with me? But the Una now knows, how could Michael have seen what was wrong with me when he hadn't a bloody clue about the illness in the first place? You know, that was something that really...
If we open the floor, is there anybody who wants to speak? Or we move on?
Suzanne?
Yeah.
Suzanne?
I'm a mum of two. I had postnatal depression with both. I have a daughter, she's now 8. The first time round, it took me a long time. I didn't have a clue. No midwife, no doctors, no nothing spoke to me when I was pregnant about postnatal depression or what it was or anything else. And I had to put a mask on after she was born, and went on a long time in the spin and in the blur of things. I don't remember anything until one day I met a lovely lady at Sure Start, and she connected in with me, and we had a meeting after that, and we done a lot of work. And then I fell pregnant with my son Peter. He's 19 months now, and I connected in a lot earlier with him. I think he was only maybe few days old when I had a very traumatic experience with him. And it's still, I'm doing a lot of work on that, and I've done a lot of work on myself as well. And through, I've changed.
Yeah.
I'm a changed person from who I was
Oh, why?
5 or 6 years ago when I first would have connected in with Una, and I just felt so afraid and alone. I would have stayed up at night crying after I had her. My husband didn't know nothing. He would have been down at his mum's. My mother-in-law lived beside me, which I had all 3 doors to my house locked. I had curtains closed. I didn't let anybody in. I didn't let no help in. When the health visitor came, I was makeup on, hair done.
Candlelit.
Nothing wrong here. Baby dressed up to the 9s and nothing wrong. And I just said, yes, everything's fine. When she asked how I was feeling, I just said, nothing's wrong. Everything's good. And then silently I was squealing inside.
Yeah.
And I was in such a dark, scary place.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realise that.
Yeah.
Where I was.
And then for Peter, it changed. I know it was a traumatic birth with Peter, but in terms of your experience postnatally,
yes.
Did you feel that you were more connected to your feelings? Did you have more of a voice?
Yes, I felt I could use my voice more, because with Catherine, I didn't use my voice.
Yeah.
And I felt I couldn't because of the fear.
Yeah.
I was scared of her getting took away from me.
Yeah.
I was petrified of her getting took away.
Yeah.
That I didn't speak. I didn't tell my husband what was wrong. I didn't tell nobody. I kept it all inside. And I just felt that I couldn't tell anybody or open up to anybody.
And what was that doing to you, Suzanne?
It was burning me out, and it was just exhausting. And I was just mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, and only for my dog at the time I wouldn't have been out of the house at all. And I still have him.
When you fell pregnant with Peter, I think you told us very early on.
Yes, I connected in very early.
You were aware at a very early.
Yeah, I was afraid of it happening again.
You were ready.
Yes.
Right. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That you want to take control of the situation rather than the illness.
Yeah.
taking away your identity again and taking away everything.
Who I was,
Yeah.
I didn't have no clue who Suzanne was or who I was now as a mum, because again, I would have looked after my nephew and my niece,
No
and
bother,
they were
yeah.
babies, and I thought, no, I can do it.
Sure, here's handy.
It's no bother, and no, I can look after them, no bother, because I would have kept them overnight and stuff as well for my sister and that.
And what helps you at the minute? What is helpful? Is it honest conversations? Is it that you feel
Just,
held and heard? What is it?
Connecting in with Gemma and yourselves, and feeling heard, and being able then to use my voice to speak up for what my children needs and what I need as well as a person. And then just I'd be getting out more just with my dog, just out into nature with my dog, and just
Putting yourself,
keeps you well.
yeah, that keeps me well.
That fills your cuppa.
Yeah.
Your cuppa. Suzanne, thank you so much for
Yes.
sharing that. That
Brilliant.
means a lot, because we know your journey inside. You know,
Yeah.
we've been shoulder to shoulder with you through your journey, and that means that.
It's amazing.
Thank you. Really, thank you.
And the
so
difference in you, Suzanne, from Suzanne 6 years ago, from the Suzanne who walked in here
much. I
tonight.
parked the car up outside.
Oh,
the garage,
yes.
and I just got the new car.
Yes, that's
and I was
right.
like, Jesus, he's going to crash into the car. My husband would kill me. Remember, your handbrake wasn't working. I'll never forget it.
But the difference in you as a person is unreal.
Class.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Nobody's going to mess with Suzanne,
No,
especially not it.
not it.
Oh, God.
Dear, no way.
No way. No way.
Is there anything that anybody wishes they were told?
How bloody hard it is.
Well, we know why. Well, the obvious is how bloody hard it is, but is there anything else, like, I suppose, like, we've all said, right, I've done it before, I've kept weans before, it's no bother, sure, it's going to be grand. And you do have that perception in your head. This is going to be, I honestly thought, sure, this is going to be a doddle. It will.
You can't hand them back, book,
I know, you can't hand it back.
You can't hand them back.
Sleep.
No, if they come out with a manual or a chip or something, or them days would have been CDs you could put in,
Floppy disk.
tells you what they like to eat. Breastfeeding's not for them. Certain formulas that they'd like, and they could talk.
Yeah.
Would have been damn bloody handy. But it's all guess, and trying to figure.
And that's for the baby, but then I suppose when you think about it, there's also the mummy, the new mummy.
And the new daddy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's a real.
I wish somebody had turned around to me and said, it's going to be tough, but you're allowed to speak about it.
Yeah, and there is magical moments.
Yeah. And
there's other moments.
Yeah,
that are
you
not
won't feel like
magical.
you're loving it all the time. I remember whenever Duke was born, I felt like I was Superwoman. Whenever he was, they're just born, you think, thank fuck, that's over. But oh my God, I'm Superwoman. And then it was like, oh shit. But you weren't, the oh shit wasn't meant to be there, wasn't meant to stay, but it did stay. And then there was the pressure and the fear of, if I tell somebody that I'm not enjoying this here, or that this is not what I expected, they're going to come take this child away.
Yeah. Big white van. Don't know why I thought that, but big white van. They're gonna. And I remember saying this to a friend of mine's, a health visitor, and she says, "Where the hell are we taking that your way in Una?" And I had friend, and I said, "But why am I thinking this when I can't have? I feel as if I can't have an honest conversation, and I think it's often time wasn't given to you in visits.
Yeah,
that you were sitting and you felt, I think I'm going to say something. And then the next, maybe a student comes in with them, and that you go back, swallow back in again.
Yeah.
Or which they have a big demand in what they're doing, and they maybe have to go to another house as quick, and you just think, well, you know what, I'm not worthy, I'll not bother, I'll just keep quiet.
I don't want to annoy anybody else.
I'll just keep quiet. And I don't even know, was it really about them taking the baby away? I think it was more, I'm just going to keep quiet. I'm not worthy, which I am worthy.
Oh, very worthy. Yeah.
Yeah, Elaine, you going to take the mic? And her Def Leppard gorgeous t-shirt.
I know.
I think for me, I'm a mum of 3.
Yeah.
And postnatal depression and postnatal anxiety only hit me with my 3rd child.
Yeah.
So whenever it came to baby 3, it was like, sure, I can do this, no bother. All of my pregnancies were totally different. With Ava, I only found out I was pregnant at 35 weeks. So I had that to deal with, but I had a lot of support. With Reuben, he was the only one that we kind of planned, talked about. And I was really excited about him coming and really enjoyed my pregnancy. And because we didn't have that with Ava, going to the scans together and it felt like I was pregnant for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he was 3 months, I found out I was pregnant again. And it was like, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. We only
How did this
only
happen?
wanted another one. How did this happen?
I only ordered one.
Yeah, I only ordered one. But he was a wee Brucey bonus, or Leo. But yeah, I think from the minute I found out I was pregnant is when things started to really, like, my anxiety and my worrying about my pregnancy. And because they were, doctors were calling this high risk pregnancy because they were too close together.
Yeah.
You know, there's only 12 months between them.
Mm-hmm.
So all these words, high risk pregnancy and all of these things, I suppose, was adding to it.
Mm-hmm. Pressure.
And yeah, because I had been okay with the other two, sure, I'll be grand. And I had experience of working in mental health, so I know how to look after myself and fix it all, and I don't need any help. Yes. And I found that whenever health visitors came in and everything, because I was a qualified social worker, sure, she's grand.
Aye.
Sure, you know how to do it.
It's the expectation that's put on you.
Yeah. So I found it really hard to admit that I had something going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it got to a point where I was like, if I don't reach out to somebody now, this is a very quickly downward spiral.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very lucky. I have a very supportive family, and my sister has been paramount in, you know, everything. And maybe highlighting that, actually, Elaine, ring your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do this all on your own, you know.
So they obviously noticed there was a difference in Elaine.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So yeah, it was that expectation of baby number 3. So I was the other way about from you. You had it and then you were okay. Whereas I was okay with my other 2, and then it hit me like a ton of bricks.
Mm-hmm. And you had severe anxiety when we met.
Oh my goodness. My actually first experience, I had my first panic attack when I was pregnant with Leo.
Yeah.
And the doctors kind of said, oh, this is something that can happen when you're pregnant, and, you know, it's like a one-off, but to keep an eye on it. So I kind of thought, oh, it's just a one-off. And then when it kept happening, and the first one terrified me, like I thought I was having a heart attack. But because I was very lucky in that, because I was equipped with my mental health experience, I knew I was able to say to the doctor on the phone, I know this is a panic attack. I know this is what happened to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the anxiety really did, and I didn't want to go out of the house, and because I had the 2 of them, that was my excuse. It's too busy to take the 2 of them out.
Yeah.
That's when you started to close yourself in.
Yeah. Make excuses and really isolate myself. Make excuses for not seeing friends or going to appointments or, you know, going to get my hair done or, you know.
Yeah.
Looking after yourself.
Yeah.
You went completely inward. You are a very outgoing individual. Your personality is, you say you sing at weddings, you sing at funerals, you sing where you can sing. You know, you'll turn up for the party.
Yes.
And you even were talking to us one time about even the friendships change.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah.
And where's my friends now? Which you can understand that from their point of view, and there's different points of view there, but it's really scary.
It is.
You're sitting here,
and you talk about that
so
whenever
alone.
you say, "Who were you?" or "Who are you now?" See, whenever somebody asks me that, I'm like,
Totally different person.
no idea. I'm totally different. Totally different. Like when me and Matt met 12 years ago, God, we were carefree, no responsibilities, living pay packet to pay packet, going stay in hotels, weekends away.
Yeah.
You know. And then, especially whenever we got pregnant with Ava, and it was she was born 3 weeks to the day after we found out we were pregnant. But we were fine. We were fine then. And you know, a lot of that was very blurry, but I had good support.
That makes
a huge difference. A huge difference.
That's the magic ingredient.
Yeah.
Because you're able to have, when you have that support around you and honest conversations, makes a wild difference.
But you talk about having that voice taken away from you, and I've always been a very outspoken, outgoing person. But whenever the sort of darkness was creeping in when I had Leo, I felt like I couldn't say anything because I am a Leo and I'm bubbly and outgoing, and that's not who I am.
Totally
So
get
I
you.
can't. I can't say that this is what's wrong with me or this is what.
So was it your doctor or your sister that made you reach out, or what made you reach in to us?
I had followed you guys on Facebook for a long time.
Okay.
And had seen things popping up. And I had spoke to my doctor, and whenever she had said, yeah, Elaine, I think this sounds like, and I said, I know, you don't need to tell me that that's what I've got because I know. And then I was thinking, she put me on medication, and for a while I didn't take the medication, and I told her now that because I didn't want the stigma of, being on medication, and sure, I can fix this myself. Still, Elaine can fix the problems. And then something else had popped up on Facebook with you guys, and I thought, I need them. Why am I doing it alone? That is what I need. And I messaged on Facebook first. And a pop-up message came back, and their waiting list was already, they had a waiting list and there's no room. And I thought,
no,
there's no room for me.
But you didn't stop there.
I didn't stop.
I know, but that initial
didn't
thought,
stop.
you're right, saying they have no room for me.
Yeah.
And then the time we get to mummy, they think they know I'm not worthy, and they don't get the help they want.
They've pushed it back on yourself.
You're
but
so
your
right.
hands are tied too. There's only so much that you can do.
That's sore on us. We want to, if we had more staff, with more resources, we could do more. Whereas Ciara's just saying you didn't stop at that.
No, I didn't. Because I knew I needed something. Because I knew. I rang and I said, I'm not taking your message.
I remember that day. That's what
but I knew I was at a point where if I don't like to think about where I would have been.
Yeah. And there's something you had said earlier on there in the conversation, that when they came into your home and they seen you as your profession.
Yeah.
What would you have wished they seen you as?
Take away that title of the qualified social worker or baby number 3, but it's hard because you wear a damn good mask.
Oh yeah,
when you have to.
But when they,
so I can't blame them.
No, I'm not, and I think it is. What we're trying to say is that when we present, we don't see you as your profession. We see you as first and foremost how you present in front of us. Elaine, Elaine, the woman, Elaine, the mummy. And your title is not important. That's what I'm trying. When I come into my home, they say, Una, is the Sure Start worker?
Yes.
So the wee student will come along, you're great wee mummy to take out the student. And I understand where they're coming from, but also they need to see me as the mummy.
Yeah.
Every mummy is vulnerable. Every daddy is. It's an emotional journey.
Yeah. And yes, they did. Like the midwife might have said, and what about the mood? How's the mood? Or I'll leave this wee anxiety checklist with you.
Edinburgh scale.
Yeah. And of course, I remember answering it thinking, I'm giving you the answers you want to hear.
Yeah, I did the same. Yeah.
So I did. I hid it for a long time, even with my family, and we're very honest and open. And my sister was probably the only one that I was going, she has 2 young ones as well. And I was probably being honest with her about it being hard, or I just had an absolute breakdown here, or sending her a message, this is what's going on, but I did hide it for a long time.
Yeah. And do you see yourself changing now?
Yeah.
Elaine?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It has been, there's still hard days, and there's still hard times. It's like, what do you wish someone had told you? Yeah. It's not always going to be sunshine, rainbows.
Summer in a bowl.
Yeah. But I am able to tune in to when things are not good, and what can I do to turn that around. Or, just take a wee break here.
Me pause.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and I have found the gatherings and our wee mummy meetups have been my saving grace.
Yeah.
They really have. And like even like there's days that I've gone in and my mood has been in my boots, but I've come out there skipping.
Yeah.
You know. So what that can do for you.
Yeah.
And why is that, do you think? What's different than going in?
I don't feel alone.
What's different coming into us in Aladdin's Kingdom on a Thursday morning than going into Aladdin's Kingdom on a Friday morning? Or?
Oh, no, I can't. I tried that. I pushed myself too hard one Sunday, and no, that wasn't good. I am supported. I know who's there.
There's no judgment.
There's no judgment. There, you know, you can go in and you can say, "I'm having a shit day," or and you just know that when you go in there, we're all riding that same train.
We're human.
Yeah.
You know, we feel shit moments. We also feel good. And often people always come in and celebrate some moments and some fantastic achievement. He's walking, he's crawling.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, you hear him. He's climbing up.
Would he hear what he's done now? Yeah, that's my Leo.
Or we find the tooth. Zara?
Yeah, Zara.
And the first tooth.
Just to buy the shoes.
I know.
Take this now. Take it off.
Thank you. No, thank you, Elaine.
Like I know tomorrow.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I know tomorrow you'll be celebrating our newest member. If our other mummy comes with a new baby.
Yeah.
We're waiting on another mummy.
Yeah, we're waiting patiently for another one to come.
Maybe a leap year baby.
Yeah, leap year's right.
Comes tomorrow.
Maybe.
Sarah, you don't have to, darling. Is there anything that you wanted to share? Because I seen you agreeing a lot there with Elaine nearly.
I know, I was excited.
Yeah.
No, well, I had the COVID baby. So my COVID baby came after 2 miscarriages. So I had a high risk COVID baby pregnancy. I never seen a midwife because I was consultant led. So I never got get ready for baby.
Oh, right.
But I'm a nurse. So I know how to look after babies.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, you're a nurse. That's right.
So it was anxiety the whole way through the pregnancy because I had to do Clexane injections and take tablets and was the baby going to make it and all that crack. But I was grand the whole time. I went on to Facebook and I actually went on to Support Together and applied for one of the wee forms and I never filled it in. With baby, now she's 3.5. Health visitor came out and I sat and waited for the wee smiley face form because with being a student nurse, I'd been out with health visitors and I waited to get the wee form, but they were in and out because of COVID, so I never got a form. So I never told the health visitor I wasn't feeling good. But I never contacted anybody. I was grand. I got on with. I couldn't go to groups. I couldn't go to anything. Everything opened up the week I went back to work when she was 8 months old. So my first pregnancy and first until she was 8 months was in the house with all my apps, checking how many dirty nappies she had, how many ounces she had. Nobody could touch her. So second time round, I was like, there wasn't something quite right with me the first time. And there's a girl who is in the group and she had added me on Facebook randomly. And she was always posting Support Together things. And I've never said this to her. She doesn't even have a clue. But she was always posting Support Together. And second time round then, I had my wee girl had a C-section because she was breech. I was like, this will be fine. I'm a nurse. I know what I'm doing. And no, hit a hard wall. So I went back onto my old messages that I had applied for the original form in 2020. Filled it in and thought, that's 3 years old. That's not going to work. Waited till the next day and I was like, no, it mustn't have worked because nobody rang me. And I rang through at 10 to 5 and got poor Una. And I just cried.
And I about to go out the door.
You about to get out.
My husband waiting on me to make the dinner.
I think I was in the fondy for about 20 minutes.
Poor Mick starving at home.
Deadly.
And yeah, that was just, I just crumbled. But I had 2 kids to look after. Connor went back to driving a lorry in England when I was 10 days post-section. I had to fix me to help
You were
them.
very, very, very determined.
Yeah, I had to.
And that's,
So yeah, that was, I don't remember the first kind of 3 months of my first wee girl's life. I remember it, but it was just a lot of dark times.
Yeah.
But this time round, like we have 4 play groups a week we go to them.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I don't want to, but Thursday's the only day I do want to get out of the house. But I don't know. You do have to get on with it. But this time I have took the advice and support. And
You're not doing it alone.
Yeah, I just feel normal.
You need to understand what was driving your behaviours. I think that's well important. Once you understand, you're able to be understood.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, even think about it for the first pregnancy and afterwards, you had 2 predators in your house because you had COVID, the risk of COVID and postnatal.
Yeah.
So what's the theatre have to be?
Like I was put off.
Clean.
I was off from 20 weeks. And now that was in April 2020. She was born September. So you couldn't even walk the dog twice.
Yeah.
No.
You just had to sit in the house.
But how even your profession.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is that, you were very hygienic and you're ensuring the surfaces and everything had to be right, and how that became an obsession
It was,
and took over.
Because second time round then I have had family members say to me, it was like walking on eggshells with you and you were so controlling. But I didn't know I was like that. I thought I was just being safe mummy.
Yeah.
And then another my family member had said, sure, I knew you had depression. I didn't know.
How did you know when I
There
didn't
was
know?
something wrong, but
Aye.
told me. Yeah.
I know. The difference in Zara, and the difference in the 2 ladies sitting there.
But your dad, because I remember you coming in a few times then for just wee one-to-ones and a wee chat and a wee cuppa
We cry.
and a wee cry. But just for you to try to connect to your feelings and the reason for whys, and in order for you then to connect outside your inner circle, what I mean is informing family, allowing people in,
Yeah.
and you could see the change within you.
I tell everybody now. Like there's probably people that would even be on my social media and be like, oh, there she is posting sport together again. But I only interacted with yourselves. It was actually Chloe, and I don't even think she has a notion, because my Facebook then got hacked when I was in with you when I was 3 weeks after the wee dog. So I don't have any of the old people or whatever, but it was only through Facebook and other people posting that I
That's the
actually reached out
power
for
of
help.
social media when we think of it.
And that's breaking
I
down
know
the
that's happened
stigma.
with one of my friends is friends with one of the mummies, and that's how she found out, because that mummy kept posting about support together.
Yeah.
So it is
It's the drip.
important.
We always say about the drip.
Yeah.
Because you'll see it the first time and think, I'll come back to that. And it always seems to appear on a day that you need to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
The post's there.
And
Absolutely.
The day I met Una.
Yeah.
Your start, that was a big turning point for me.
Yeah.
Because I had forced myself to go that morning out to that
It
group. And
was meant for a reason.
meant for a reason. Sarah, thank you for
Yes.
sharing that with us. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Do you want to wind and then
Yeah. Well, we do.
there's a wee break maybe?
I think maybe there's a
We
couple
cup of tea.
Aye,
We have to fill our cup up with the hot stuff.
we'll go and get a cup of tea, and then we'll come back and we'll do what filled. You can get thinking what filled your cuppa,
Chatting to the man.
and we get to a wee bit of chatting to them handsome men, the macro.
Yeah. Here, seriously, thank you for sharing stuff with us. It really means a lot, because that message will help a listener, somebody at the kitchen sink, somebody sitting second pregnancy, first pregnancy, or and going right here. I kind of know what postnatal depression, or I know that, Charlie, or I'm going to speak to my doctor.
Well, so I didn't have it the first and second time round, but I can get it the third time round.
Yeah. And even hearing a wee bit from our dads, which we want to hear more. Maybe we could put questions to them, because the man's point of view is very important to hear. There's 2 sides to this, isn't there? Really and truly. But yeah, we'll go for a cuppa.
We're going to boil the kettle.
We're doing it a wee bit different. We're
I know.
heading for a cuppa.
We'll be back soon.
We'll be back. Thank you. Mind yourself.
This was Fill Ur Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, with me, Mrs. O, Ciara O'Gowan, my co-hosts Una Leonard and Gemma Cassidy. Brought to you today by Clarity Scanning and Holistic Health, and produced by 9874 Creative.